What is up, Bears fans? And as always, welcome back to the Bear Review. I have a good one for you guys today. We're diving into my latest Chicago Bears mock draft. Of course, this time I'm talking about the 2025 Epic Mock Draft, brought to you by DraftProfessor.com, that I was lucky enough to be a part of over this last weekend. Overall, it was my first experience with a mock draft of this size with over 32 content creators across every NFL team in attendance, and I have to admit, it was a lot of fun. I was able to make some bold moves, which some of you saw on Thursday night in the stream. I'll, of course, recap that in a few moments. But I really believe that these picks here can add some real firepower to the roster. So grab a drink, kick back, and let's break down each selection, the thinking behind the trades I made, and how these guys fit into the Bears as a whole. Let's jump right in. So let's start with the move that set the entire tone for the draft. I'm talking about when I traded the Bears' 10th overall pick alongside pick 39, 233, and a 2026 second rounder to the Jets. In return, we landed pick 7 and pick 42 this year. I guess you're asking yourself why I would do something like that. Well, I wanted to be aggressive and go after a blue chip talent, a player who could be an immediate starter and a long-term cornerstone for the team. Moving up to 7 gave me that shot. Also, the swap of second rounders ensured we didn't lose out on any other top-tier talent on day 2 of the draft. Now, overall, the price was steep, I'll admit that, but the payoff can be huge. So with that 7th pick, I went with Michigan defensive tackle Mason Graham. Let me tell you, this guy is going to be a monster up front. In 2024, Graham posted 45 tackles, 7 tackles for a loss, and 3.5 sacks, while anchoring one of the nation's best defenses. Over his Michigan career, he had 107 total sacks, 17 tackles for a loss, and 9 sacks across 39 games, with 27 starts. He wasn't just productive, he was consistent. Now, where does he fit in with the Bears? This defense thrives on quick, disruptive interior linemen who can collapse the pocket. Graham's explosiveness off the snap, strong base and hand usage make him a natural 3-tech fit in Dennis Allen's scheme. He's got the tools to anchor the middle next to Montez Sweat and alongside Gervon Dexter and Grady Jarrett, giving us a nasty interior rotation. At pick 41, I went with the favorite of the channel, grabbing Quinshon Judkins. The bruising yet nimble running back who tore it up at Ole Miss and then balled out again at Ohio State. Career-wise, Judkins rushed for 3,786 yards, 45 touchdowns. In 2024 alone, he ran for 1,060 yards, 14 touchdowns on just 193 carries. That came out to over 5.5 yards per touch. He also had 22 catches for 161 yards. Now again, so where does he fit in for the Bears? Well, we need a back who can complement DeAndre Swift and Roschon Johnson, and possibly replace DeAndre Swift if we choose to trade him. Judkins checks all those boxes. He's a great one-cut runner with excellent vision, contact balance, and deceptive burst. Now, whether he wants to run in the zone or a gap scheme, he fits, and his pass-catching ability makes him a legit 3-down threat. Now, with our second pick from the Jets, Braden Swinson from LSU, the high-energy edge rusher who knows how to find the football. Swinson came into the season as a later day 2 pick, possibly even day 3, but in 2024 he absolutely blew up. Swinson led LSU with 8.5 sacks, 13 tackles for a loss. He was constantly in the backfield pressuring the quarterback, ranking in the top 5 in the SEC in pressures. Across his college career, he recorded 128 total tackles, 25 tackles for a loss, and 13.5 sacks. Now, where does he fit in for the Bears? Well, the Bears need more juice off the edge opposite Montez Sweat. Swinson's quick first step, length, and relentless motor make him a perfect rotational piece with long-term starter upside. He's tailor-made for Dennis Allen, and also with the addition of Dio Odangbo, he's going to be allowed to sit, learn, and get up to speed to the NFL level without being tossed directly at the fire. At pick 72, I went with Andrew Makumba, a rangy safety who spent 3 years at Clemson before transferring to Texas. In total, Makumba racked up 172 tackles, 17 pass breakups, and 6 picks in 35 games. Now in 2024, he put up 69 tackles and 5 interceptions. His high football IQ makes him a great addition in both the pass coverage game and the run defend game. Now, where is he going to fit into the Bears? Well, this secondary is going to need a new safety next year. Kevin Byard isn't getting any younger, and Jaquan Brisker has, of course, health concerns, as we saw last season. Makumba's athleticism, versatility, and awareness allow him to play deep or in the box. He's going to thrive in cover 1, cover 2, and cover 3 defenses, and should fit right into Dennis Allen's system. He's physical and run support, and has the speed to cover both tight ends and slot receivers. He brings instant impact potential to the table. Now let's talk about a move that raised some eyebrows. Going into round 3, I was offered a trade from the New England Patriots. The deal was to send Braxton Jones to the Pats for pick 77 and a 2026 third rounder. Now, don't get me wrong, Braxton Jones has been a very solid left tackle for us, but this move gives us flexibility to reload on the offensive line and plan for the future. Depth is, of course, key, and with the upcoming contract decisions, getting extra capital was worth it. I personally have faith in Karan Amagaji and the person you'll see in just a few minutes. They can hold down the left tackle position moving forward. However, I'm not comfortable keeping Braxton Jones and then paying him possibly $20 million a season at the end of next year, nor do I think I would get anywhere close to the compensation afterwards. So I had to take the deal. Now, with that pick, I sniped Wyatt Millham from the Patriots. Of course, you know him as the versatile offensive lineman from West Virginia. In 2024, Millham allowed just 6 pressures on 356 pass blocking snaps, and he didn't surrender a single sack. Over 47 games, he was a steady presence on the offensive line, playing both tackle and guard. Now, why bring him to the Bears? The Millham is going to bring us much needed flexibility on the offensive line. Now, Ryan Poles has made great strides to rebuild the interior of the offensive line, bringing in guys like Jonah Jackson and Joe Thuney. The problem with Thuney is he's only on a 1-year deal, and he's getting up there in age. So we need to bring in a replacement that he can groom behind him. And Wyatt is just that man. Now, of course, there is a possibility he could fit in at either tackle position in a pinch, but with his lack of arm length, I wouldn't make that a number 1 priority. He's staying inside for the Bears. He's also going to bring a real strong anchor, quick feet, and plays with great awareness. Those are going to be key traits he can bring to the offensive line moving forward. Now, I guess you're still wondering who's going to help at left tackle, especially because Millham doesn't really fit the bill in terms of an NFL tackle. However, at pick 148, I grabbed Holland Pierce, the monster left tackle from Rutgers. Pierce has been nothing short of an Iron Man for their line. He started over 50 games and played over 3,100 snaps. He's allowed only 5 sacks over that stretch, 1 being in 2024. I'm just going to quickly throw his stats up here on the screen as always. See, he allowed 1 sack, 5 hits, 15 hurries for a total of 21 pressures. Another thing you'll notice here at the very bottom is he's extremely disciplined. In terms of penalties, he only had 2 all of last year. Now, where does he fit into the Bears? Well, Pierce is going to be your developmental tackle with a huge amount of upside. The man's a monster. He sails for 6 feet 8 inches tall and weighs in around 341 pounds at the time of the combine. Now, you've all heard the stories. As he's a walk-on at Rutgers, he weighed over 400 pounds his freshman year. But again, I spoke of his discipline earlier on. He was able to drop 60 pounds. Get him in an NFL weight room with proper nutrition, he could drop even more weight. The one issue he has being that big is he's a little slow at times. However, if you get him down even another 20 pounds, that muscle memory doesn't go away. He's going to be able to move faster and cleaner. He's already an absolute mauler in the run game. He should bring that same ability to his pass protection. He's a perfect depth piece, and under Dan Rochard, he should become a reliable starter in the NFL. Again, though, that could be at either tackle positions or even inside. Versatility is key with this pick. The 3 days honestly flew by, and before I knew it, I was at pick 240. So I took a shot on channel favorite Coleman Owen, the crafty wideout from Ohio University. Now, you saw my scouting report on Owen earlier, but if you haven't, in 2024, Owen hauled in 78 catches for 1,245 yards with 8 touchdowns. He also had a stellar PFF grade of 90.3 and forced 18 missed tackles after the catch. Now, where does he fit in for the Bears? Well, Owen's going to give us a shifty slot option with elite separation skills. He's not a burner, but he's always open. Think of him as Chicago's Hunter Renfrow or Cole Beasley, someone who keeps drives alive. That could be a security blanket on third down. So that's it, guys. That's the full breakdown from the 2025 Epic Mock Draft for the Chicago Bears. Now, I truly believe every player brings something unique to the table here. Upside, toughness, scheme fit. And I honestly think this class could lay the foundation for a serious playoff push moving forward in Chicago. Let me know what you think in the comments. Who do you love? Who do you hate? Who would you swap out? And hey, if you like the breakdown, smash the like button, hit subscribe, and share it with your fellow Bears fans. So until next time, bear down, guys.